Hey everybody, this is PJ Riley from Lancaster Archery in our video studio today with a brand new product to tell you about. This is the Ultraview button, the long-awaited thumb trigger release from the folks at Ultraview. We can't wait to tell you about this thing because it is awesome. First thing you're going to notice about this is that handle. So Ultraview has the hinge and the button maintains that exact same handle. Of course, Ultraview spent a lot of time getting that sizing right for the handle. It's, ergonomic, just fits your hand, just feels different from other releases. They really got that sizing accurate. And apparently they measured like hundreds of archers' hands to get that position right. But anyway, it does maintain that same geometry as the hinge, which is great so that you can switch back and forth and the feel is exactly the same. We'll tell you about why that would be important in a bit there. But let's take a look at the button, what we're going to see. Of course, this is your cocking mechanism right there. Now my release is set and we've got this great big thumb barrel here. That thing is just super smooth. Now, you're going to notice that big thumb barrel. It is contoured. It kind of slopes in to the middle there. And then it's got this huge ridges here. Just great for thumb contact. I mean, you really can get a grip with your thumb. People activate thumb triggers in a bunch of different ways. Some wrap their thumb around it. Some just like to touch it against the side like that. However you do it, you're going to be able to have the traction that you need because of that thumb barrel. I mean, this thing is incredible. So Ultraview's kind of mantra with the button is, big things start with a button. You start your car, you launch a rocket, whatever you're gonna do, a lot of things start with a button. And so with when you hit that button, it's kind of a point of no return. You've made the commitment that you're gonna shoot that release. Squeeze that button, the arrow is gone. And so they want to make that process as smooth and as form-fitting to you as they can. All right, so adjustments. You're going to have one hole here and one hole right here. This hole is going to be for the tension of the trigger. This hole here is going to be for the travel. And the adjustment range that both of those offer is pretty huge. You can take this thing from being super light, just barely touching it to make it go off, and you can make it pretty heavy to where you need a lot of force. So however you like to have your release function, there's probably a setting in here. A lot of times you have to change springs. You don't have to do that with this one. The range of adjustment is huge in there. Same goes for the travel. Right now I have it to where there is no travel on this when you activate the release. Zero travel at all. And you can take that down to where there's a great deal of travel if that's how you like to set it. So in the box you are going to get the Allen wrench that controls both of those adjustments. And right on the top here, it actually tells you which way to turn the Allen key, which way makes it heavier and which way makes it lighter, or which way reduces the travel and which way increases the travel. It tells you what to do right up top there. Now moving around to the hook here. Of course, this head is again identical to the hinge. And one of the things that Ultraview wanted to do is this obviously it's a high-end release. All the components of this are super high-end, well-engineered. So this is a high-end release. So you would think, oh, target archery. Well, Ultraview wants this to be a high-end thumb button release for bow hunters as well. So they took bow hunters into account. Right here you can see this little spring clip kind of here. It's a spring-loaded holder. So for bow hunters, if I want to connect this to my D-loop up in the tree stand and leave it hanging, I can. And this little spring-loaded clip will hold your D-loop in place. So you can just have this hanging in your tree stand and you don't have to worry about it falling out. So that's a great feature as well. So something that you don't see internally here, Ultraview designed this with what they call their Ultra Glide system. It's a sort of a self-lubricating system in there for the components so that the release always stays smooth. With thumb button releases, over time they can start to get a gritty feel to them, when you activate that trigger. Well, Ultraview's system, it isolates all unnecessary metal-to-metal contact points. They've got a bushing system in there. And essentially, it keeps this release, allows it to be able to operate smoothly over a long period of time. So that was something their engineers came up with. So this release is considered a medium. This is the medium size. There will be a large as well. I've got it in the 3-finger configuration. There will be another attachment so you can make this a 4-finger as well. On that 3rd finger, I do have the lanyard here. So again, if you're a hunter and you like to have a wrist lanyard, you can connect it there so that your release is always connected as well. And what I'm holding here, you can see this is black. This is the stainless version. Down here we've got the silver one. That is the aluminum version. So the stainless one is heavy. It's got that nice heavy feel to it. Aluminum, that's going to be your lighter version. So coming back to the importance of that geometry between the hinge and the button. So if you're an archer who likes to run both, you like to have a hinge at some times, you like to have a thumb button other times. We've seen it on the ASA where, an archer normally shoots a hinge. Now they get out and the conditions are super windy. They don't like, you don't want that hinge. You want to switch to something you have a little more control over, so you go for the thumb button. If your releases aren't set up exactly the same, that can change the feel of your shot, which is a bad thing in a tournament. You want it to feel exactly the same. So by having the geometry, if you have the hinge and the button, now you know your releases are going to feel the same. And what Colby Hanley from Ultraview said is, if you set both releases properly, it's possible for you to achieve nearly the same point of impact. You may get exact same point of impact, but you can at least get it really close, maybe just some minor differences there. So again, having the thumb button match the hinge, you can have both releases, you're going to have the exact same feel. So setting this up, I did take some shots with it, and how I set it was I took all the travel out of it and I set it fairly light. I could have gone lighter, but it wasn't as light as it goes. I did have a little bit of tension there, and it is just as smooth as can be. The way I activate a thumb button release is I like to relax my fingers, so I'm not actually pulling with my thumb. What I'm doing is I just lock my thumb in place and then relax my fingers. The tension of the bow then pulls the release forward and my thumb stays in place, and my thumb then activates the trigger. And so I was able to get this light enough to where that was natural. Sometimes if I have to force a thumb button, then I'm basically punching the trigger, and if I punch the trigger, bad things happen. So this one I was able to set up to where I was not punching the trigger. It was a surprise shot. I was able to achieve that. That's what I like. So those adjustments that they had in there, I was able to get this to feel the way I wanted to feel it. I did play around with the adjustments, and I was able to get lots of travel. Some folks who like a super heavy release, I was able to do that as well. Just a wide range of adjustments, which means this is going to fit a wide range of archers. All right, that is the Ultraview button. Great new release from the folks at Ultraview. They're always putting out quality archery products. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to click that bell to get notifications whenever we put out new videos. And as always, if you have any questions, you can visit us at LancasterArchery.com.